Okay, so welcome all to the second session in week one. Okay, so let us begin. So today we'll start with a fresh topic, and today we'll start learning the programming language that we'll extensively use in automating a web, API, and mobile. So we have to work in this training curriculum with tools like Selenium, Rest Assured, and APM for mobile testing, mobile automation. So with all these tools, the binding language that we learn will be Java. Okay, so Java, is most popular language. So we'll see what are some of the features of Java and why Java is important when it comes to uh, automating with it. Okay, so we learn the important concepts of Java and we'll try to work on it. So I'll tell you everything about Java in today's session. Okay, so we'll start learning with introduction, then I'll introduce you to IDE. Okay, then we'll install and configure the IDE. So yesterday I think some of us were facing issues in downloading and installing and configuring the IDE. So I'll tell you all the important things that we have to understand. Then we'll work with data types, operators, control statements, and other things in the Java, which are important for test automation. So the biggest reason why we use Java is a platform independent language. What do we mean by platform independent is I can write my Java code, my Java program on any platform, on any environment. Okay. Now, what do we mean by platform? So, platform is a combination of multiple things like my hardware setup, my BIOS, and my operating system on which I am running my computer or server. So, I can write a Java program on my Windows machine, okay, on Intel or any similar type of hardware on Windows 7 or Windows 11, okay, and then I can execute the same program even on Linux, okay. So Java is not dependent on the platform on which is it is getting executed, okay. Now, one misconception in platform independence is the JDK, right? The Java development kit that we use is platform dependent. Okay. So the kit or the tool or the software is platform dependent, but the programs or the applications that we generate writing in Java are platform independent. Okay. So if I'm writing a program, I'm sure that it will run on any machine given it has Java installed in it. Okay. So let us understand this concept of Java on how it works. Okay. So, in Java, we have something called as JDK or a Java development kit. Okay. So, as the name suggests, JDK is primarily used for developing the software. Okay. So, JDK is a kit. Okay. Because it stands for Java development kit. Okay. Is a kit or a software which is used by okay. So JDK is a kit or a software which is used by Java programmers to develop Java programs. Okay. Now you must have heard about JRE as well, right? So JRE is an environment. Okay. So it stands for Java Runtime Environment. Okay. So JRE is an environment. Okay. So once I install JRE on my machine, okay, I am able to execute any program. It does not include the Java compiler, interpreter, or execution engine. sorry, the Java interpreter or compiler or developer tools. Okay, because there are a lot of developer tools which are included in JDK, which are excluded. For example, Java compiler, right? So we know what compiler is, right? Compiler is a simple program which compiles the source code that we write. Okay, so the code that we write is called as source code file. Okay, or source code. The code that we write as a programmer is called as source code. Okay, so once we write source code, okay, we need JDK to compile. Okay, so we need to compile the source code, and we use Java compiler. Java compiler is one tool in the kit of JDK. Okay, and we use Java compiler to compile our source code and generate bytecode. So what is bytecode? Bytecode is compiled version of my source code. Okay, so how it works is I use JDK, okay, and I write the source code. Okay, I'll use the compiler, which is part of JDK. Okay, I'll compile my program. Okay, and once my program is compiled, I'll generate bytecode. Okay, now extension of the source code file is .java. Okay, so all the files that are named with an extension .java are source code files, and Java compiler automatically compiles the source code and converts it into bytecode, and the extension of the file that is automatically generated is .class. Okay, so this is how a simple Java program creation works. Okay, now JDK includes JRE. Now, what does JDK includes? It includes JRE or Java runtime environment. Okay, because once we are developing a program, we need to execute it as well. Okay, so now once the bytecode is generated and the program is executed, or run. Okay, once we run the program or it is executed, it will generate the output. Okay, and who is responsible to run the program? It is the Java runtime environment. So Java runtime environment, what it does? It executes the program. Okay, it has a tool which executes the program. Okay. And now where the program is executed, the program is executed on a Java virtual machine or the JVM. So JRE implements the JVM, and under the Java virtual machine, my program is getting executed. Okay. So JVM is nothing but a virtual machine in your own machine. Okay. On the machine where you are executing the program. So what happens is Java creates a platform. Okay. Or it creates a virtual machine internally where it is able to execute the .class file or the bytecode. Okay. So here we have a .class file which Java is able to execute on top of JVM. Okay. So first it spins up this JVM, and then it executes my .class file on the JVM and generates the output. Okay. So these are the various terms that are usually used in Java. So if we download and install the JDK software, we'll have JRE as well. And at the runtime, a JVM will be created on top of which my Java program will be executed, or my bytecode will be executed. Okay. Now after bytecode, it converts it into machine code and so on and so forth, right? So we have to remain abstract to that functionality or that programming. As a programmer, we don't need to worry much about how Java does it. Okay. Because internally, there are a lot more phases. Okay. It converts to machine code and the byte code and binary code, sorry, and a lot of other things it does, right? The Java runtime environment. But the crux is, on an abstract level, it will execute my program on the Java virtual machine. Okay. So any questions, anyone, on the flow of how Java program? So as a developer, we will write a source code, we'll compile it to create a bytecode, and then bytecode will be executed on the Java virtual machine, which will be implemented by the Java runtime environment. Okay. Implemented means planted. Okay. So consider it as a stage or a platform, right? So if I have to perform a song, right? If I have to perform in front of an audience, I have to go onto the stage and I'll have to perform. Okay. So the program will run on the platform, which is Java virtual machine. It is called as a virtual machine. It is not called as a platform actually. Okay. Now, see, now, so this is my Java setup, right? So I'll take it here. I'll make a copy of it. Okay. And all of this will be installed on my Windows OS, right? I am using Windows machine. So I'll install a JDK on my Windows machine. On my JDK, I'll create a program, correct? Using JDK, I'll compile and run. Okay. And I'll get the output. Okay. So my program will produce everything on my Windows machine only. Correct. Now, the beauty of Java is that my program can run anywhere without worrying much about the operating system, or it is operating system agnostic. Okay. So let's say this is a Linux machine I have. Okay. Now this Linux machine will also have the same setup. Okay. So this Linux machine will also have the same setup. It will have its own JDK. Okay. So JDK will be different. Software will be different, but what it does remains the same. The functionality remains the same. Okay. It can have its own JDK. Okay. Then a circle. It can have its own JRE, and it can have its own JVM. Okay. So on this JVM also my program can run. Okay. Because let's say I created my program using JDK 21. If I install the same version here, it will still work on Linux. Okay. Also, let's say I have a Mac. Okay. Or a set-top box, let's say, not even Mac. I have a set-top box, right? It's a hardware device, right? It is not a computer, right? It has minimum computing power. Computing works with embedded microchips and the microprocessors, right? We know this as set-top box, right? Everyone has some point of time had it in their homes, right? So in set top box, if we have only JRE, then also my program will work. Okay, I don't need to have a JDK to run a program, because once my program is ready, it is runnable anywhere. So what I need is I need JVM and my bytecode will start running. Okay, compilation can't happen on STB, development can't happen. There won't be other tools of the kit. Okay, however, if JRE is installed and it is able to implement JVM on the machine, my program is runnable on that machine. Okay, so my program which I created, the bytecode which I created, is platform independent. Okay, now JRE version of STB or JRE binary of STB, the software of STB might differ, right? I have to install a JRE which is specific for STB. Might be Windows JRE software will not work here, but once I install it, once I install whatever JRE software is provided on Java, on Oracle website for Java, I'll be able to run the code which is built and compiled earlier in other operating systems. Okay. Any question, anyone, on how Java works and how it is platform independent? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Okay. Okay, next important thing is Java is object oriented. Okay, so we'll learn more about what are classes, what are objects, and how Java and why Java is object oriented and why it is useful to us. Okay, so in a short, in a nutshell, I can say you that it mimics a lot with the real world problems or real world entities. Okay, so if it mimics, if it resembles to real world entities, it is easier to solve real world problems. Okay, therefore an object oriented approach is much better than other programming approaches. Other programming approaches are also useful, and in maybe in some non complex problems. Okay, however, object oriented is pretty much easy to understand and easy to implement. Okay, so another important feature of Java is reusability, right? So it has a core language plus a rich collection of commonly available packages. One such package is Selenium. Okay, Selenium is not a part of core Java offering. Okay, with JDK they won't package Selenium, right? We have to use Selenium referring to the Selenium developer community. Okay, so Selenium is a separate developer community who maintain and work on Selenium, right? There are some investors like Google, etc. Some major investors are there who pay for the salaries of the developers, or they remunerate them. But Selenium is a separate offering and Java is a separate offering. Okay, so Java is extensible, right? I can plug in Selenium into Java and I can leverage Java for test automation of web UIs as well. Okay, anything that I can run on browser, I can automate it on Selenium. That is possible because it can be bind to a popular language like Java. It can be bind to Python as well, JavaScript as well, C# as well, maybe other big data languages, R, etc. as well, right? So Selenium can be bind to any language. They have Selenium community has given us options to bind the language to the tool to multiple languages. Okay, but Java is also extensible and it accepts the other libraries also, right? For example, in a single framework, I can have REST API testing, Selenium testing, mobile testing. I can have security testing. I can have unit testing with JUnit. So, okay, so in a single framework, in a single project, I can have all these things integrated because Java is extensible. Also, we know that Java can be embedded in web pages. We know, the Java server-side programming, okay, which can be done, and it can also be embedded to the client side on the web pages also, right? Java server pages, JSP. So Java is a very powerful language, when it comes to programming. Okay, so this is the normal outputs of this thing we'll see in action also, okay, in some time. So I'll show you how we write a program source code file, convert it into bytecode, and it executes. Okay, so I'll show you during the demonstration all these things. Okay, now let's come on to the IDE. So Eclipse IDE is nothing but an integrated development environment. Whenever we are developing programs, whenever we are writing programs and projects, what we have to understand is a lot of tools are required. There is a debugger required, right? There is a compiler required, there is an execution engine required, configuration is required, right? Changing related version, let's say I want to run on Java 17, Java 8, right? All those features are needed to me. So integrated development environment integrates all the tools on the single environment. Okay, I don't have to run around for multiple tools. Okay, on a single window, I can find all the tools so that I can focus more on writing the logic rather than hunting the tools. Okay, or adjusting the tools. I'll need a notepad, I'll need an Excel reader, I'll need a PDF reader, right? I might need all these things when I'm writing a program, okay, or creating a project. Okay, I might have to run Groovy, so I need Groovy editor, I need XML editor, XML viewer. So all these things are readily available in an editor. Okay, if it is not readily available, you can search for plugins on the internet. Okay, and those plugins will make sure that the functionalities, for example XML reader, okay, if it is not available by default, we can always install a plugin. So now there are two options that we can go with. Either we can go with Eclipse IDE or we can go with IntelliJ. So IntelliJ, which is from JetBrains, is gaining popularity, and like I told you yesterday, all the major companies have IntelliJ Ultimate license. Okay, but we'll for the practice etc. we'll be able to download only the community version because it is free to use. Okay. So this is IntelliJ IDEA Ultimate. Okay, so we don't want the Ultimate version. We want the Community Edition. Okay, so it says that we committed to giving back to our wonderful community. Giving back means they are investing the money so that people can use this IDE. It's their own way to contribute to the developer community. So we can download an exe, a zip file. Okay, either of these. So I'll prefer zip file. Okay, so you can also download the zip file, which is the latest version right now, 2023 2.5. It's getting downloaded. So I'll show you how to start with IDE first. Then I'll tell you about Java, how to identify Java. Okay, and which Java version we should use. So if anyone of you has not done this yet, they can also do it with me. So if you have questions, we can resolve them here only. So I've downloaded it, and what I normally do is I create a folder, okay, where I keep all my tools. Okay, so I've created a folder in C Training 2023 under Tools directory. So see, there are a lot of tools. Okay, so I'll create a new directory and call this as November Tools. Okay, so I just like to create one directory where I download all my tools. Okay, so I don't have to rely, if I download exe, I have to rely on that I have to install it on this path. So instead, better is download the zip version. Okay, it is much better. Now once you right click and extract it, so it will be extracted and tool will be ready to use. So anyone who is facing trouble, unable to do it, they can also follow these steps. Okay, so that you guys also are able to complete the installation of the tool.
Using other modes of installation is also fine, right? So I haven't used this zip version.
No issues. Yeah, unless and until you are able to launch it, I think we are fine.
Yeah, that is happening.
Yeah, no issues. Yeah, so I think there are two ways only, either an exe or a zip file. Exe is also good, no problem. But yeah, zip is a portable version, so I always prefer it. But yeah, exe is also fine. If you've installed it and you're able to open it, I'm okay with it. So Oracle also has so Java has bought Oracle, okay, a few years back. I think in 2017 or 2018, I think they purchased Oracle. Oracle has purchased Java from Sun Microsystems. So earlier, I think Java was owned by Sun Microsystems, and they always kept it free. Okay. However, Oracle introduced some support. So Oracle, what they did with Java is they divided it in two parts. One is open source, another is commercial. Okay, because a lot of companies were approaching Oracle that we have money, but we need support with Java. Okay, but support cannot be offered without cost because support involves cost. So they offered a commercial version also for whoever wants to go with enterprise or commercial version. And for free users, they segregated the project as an open JDK. So this is how my IntelliJ after extraction, the main directory of IntelliJ will look like. I'll go on to bin and I'll open this idea64.exe. Okay, so this is my older version. So I will unpin this one. Okay, and I'll use this new version now. So here in the bottom right, you will be able to see background tasks which are running. Okay, so it has took over my old project, which I'll close first. Okay, so this is the welcome screen that you will see. Okay, uh, on this welcome screen, we'll start with creating a project. Okay, so I'll say create a new project. So I'll create my new project with this name, Training November 2023. Okay, I can choose the location. Okay, I'll choose this folder, NOV workspaces, as my location where all the files related to my project will be stored. Okay, so this directory will be a single stop location for all the files or artifacts that will be there in my project. Okay, everything that will be there, I'll store in this single folder, single location. Okay, create git repository, I'll uncheck for now. Okay, I'll tell you how to do git later. JDK now, this IDE bundles JDK also, okay, with it, or it figures out whatever JDKs are installed on your machine. So for now, I'll keep it default. Okay, archetype is related to Maven. Okay, so archetype is nothing but a template. So archetype is nothing but a template. Okay, so I'll cover Maven in detail, so do not worry for now. Archetype is a template or a folder structure that is auto generated by uh, that is automatically generated by Maven. Okay, so I'll choose this Maven archetype plugin. Okay, version is only 1.1, and I'll click on create. Okay, so I won't go into POM and all those things in this session. Okay, so I'll simply close it. Okay, here at the bottom right, you can see some indexing, etc. is done by IntelliJ. Okay, it resolves Maven dependency. It indexes my JDK. Okay, so that it is usable, etc. So I have to wait for a couple of minutes so that it downloads the required things from the Maven archetype site. Okay, so do not worry if you are not able to grasp what these things are. I'll cover all of these things in detail. Okay, do not worry. Okay, so this is how I'll create a simple project. Okay, a Maven project. So in this, I'll tell you how to run and create a code. Okay, I can also show you how to create a simple project. Okay, so if I want to create a simple Java project, if I don't want to create a Maven project, I can simply click new project here. I can name it anything. Let me name it simple project. I'll keep it in the same workspace. Okay, so inside this workspace, a project folder will be created. In that folder, all my files will be available. Here I can choose the language of my choice, which language, whatever language I want to use, I can choose here. What we have to do here is we have to choose the language. Okay, build system, we can choose Maven, Gradle, but Maven, I'll show you, we create it with archetype. We can choose to create it without archetype as well using this ID feature, but I'll put IntelliJ here for now. Okay, because I'll let IntelliJ build the project for me. What is build, I'll explain you. Okay, do not worry. JDK, again, let it choose default. I'll show you how to add more JDKs, which JDK to use, how and what to configure. I'll show you everything. Okay, add sample code. If you want it to add a sample code, you can check this box. Otherwise, you are free to uncheck it. Click on create. Okay, so this is my simple project which is created without complexities of Maven, etc. Okay, in a professional test automation, we'll always create something with Maven or Gradle. Okay, with some external build tool. We do not rely on IDE build tools. Okay, I'll tell you reasons for this also, advantages and disadvantages. Basically, there are more advantages only. So advantages of using a build system like Maven. Okay, so I'll tell you what build is. Okay, that also I will tell you. Okay, but for today, let us focus on simple Java. Okay, what Java is, how it works. Let's focus on the program part of the Java first. Okay, so here you see on the left hand side there is a project explorer. Okay, so this window that we are seeing is a project explorer. Okay, now this is used to view the project structure. Okay, so I have a project structure where I have a .idea file. So IntelliJ will store some of its metadata, some of its config files into this .idea. We don't have to worry, we don't have to open it, or we don't have to worry about it anything what it does. Okay, it's internal to the IDE. Then there is a git ignore file which is more or less related to git, so let's ignore it for now. Then there is an IML file which is also the IntelliJ related file, and we don't have to worry much about this file. Okay, let's be it. Okay, just let it be wherever it is. Then there is an SRC folder or the source code folder. Now this is an important folder, and all my source code, the code that I write, goes in here. Okay, so I'll right click here, I'll create new, and I'll say Java class. Okay, so in Java, the first thing that we have to do is create a class. I'll name this class as hello world. Okay, name, I can choose anything. Okay, so okay, so in Java, things fall under class. Okay, things means everything, means code, etc. Right, so the first step is to create a class. Okay, what is the first step? That we have to create a class. Okay, and whatever code we write, we'll write inside a class. Okay, so what is class, what is object, don't worry about all these things today, or maybe next week, in the first session I'll tell you that what class and object is. Okay, so you'll have more idea on what a class object is, the details. Okay, but for today, let us focus only on that everything will fall inside a class. Once we have a class, now there are more words, public. Okay, so don't worry about it. There are more words coming like public, static, right? Don't worry. Void, main. Okay, do not worry about all these things at this point of time. Okay, so here you see that I am writing one line of code which is saying public, static, void, main. So these three keywords, don't worry. What is keyword? What are these three words? Don't worry. Okay, we'll cover them gradually. Important thing to understand is main. Now, what is main? Main is a method. Whenever we visit any building, whenever we visit any house, whenever we visit any office, etc., how do we enter? We enter using main gate. Okay, so main is an entry point to Java program or project. Okay, whenever we have to enter into some place, we always look for main, right? Main gate, main door, main entry. So in Java, the main entry point is main method. Okay. On the JVM, whenever I am executing my program, right? I execute my program on JVM, right? So what does Java looks for? It looks for main method first, because it start the execution of the program using main method. Okay. There can be other methods, but main method is the primary one, which is entry point. Okay. There can be a lot of entrance in the building, right? However, one only looks for the main entrance, right? Let's say if you are visiting a building for first time, you will look for the main door or the main entrance, right? There can be many back entries like for housekeeping, other doors, etc., but we always prefer main door. Similarly, all the entries are done in Java program. All the execution begins from the main method. Okay, this is important in main method. Now, like I told you, there are other things. These are important, but we'll learn later. This thing is also important. Whatever here is, it's also important. But again, I'll cover that later. But first, let's understand how main method, how we create a source code file, how we execute. Okay, this picture that we drawn. Let's do this practically. Okay. Now here I'll write the hello world program, which we normally write in programming language. Okay. So in Java, if we have to print something to the console, we use system.out.println and we say hello world. Okay. So this is one line of code. Again, you will be confused. What is the system.out.println, whatever it is. So I'll tell you everything. Don't worry. This will output this string on the console. This is what the program does. Okay. So as we gradually, keep on working, we'll understand more on how things work. If I want to execute, simply I click on this button and I'll say run. So you see at the bottom right, it is parsing, doing few things, and it will print hello world and the console output, and my program terminates. Okay. Whenever it exits with exit code 0, that means my program is successful. Okay. Now, so what we did is, right now we created a class, we created a main method, we printed something on the console, and my Java program worked. Okay. But where was all these things which I explained you, right? When did what happened when I created .java file? I did not create .class file, right? I did not, but I directly got the output by simply clicking on the run button. Okay. So how things work is, I'll tell you how things work. So IDE is making my life easy, right? I don't have to do all these things manually. IDE will do all these things for me. Okay. Let me tell you how. So I'll go on to the project on my local directory. Okay. So this is my Windows Explorer where my simple project is. Now here you will see two directories. One is src, one is out. .idea I asked you to ignore because it is IntelliJ related config files. No need to worry. Git ignore it for now. Once we learn Git, you will understand what is this file. Simple project IML is also the IML file, which is IntelliJ IDEA specific, so we can ignore it. Okay. But there are two directories which we should not ignore. One is src directory where we'll write our code, right? So when I created hello world class, it was created as hello world.java. Okay. And this is the source code that I wrote in there, right? See, I'm opening it in Notepad. I gave up the IDE. Okay. So once I give up the IDE, this is the source code that is visible, right? This is the code that I wrote, correct? So it is visible as .java file. Now, second directory is the out directory, in which if you explore to certain directories, out, production, etc., you will see that I have a class file by the name hello world.class. Now, what is class file? The bytecode file. Okay. Who created bytecode file? Java compiler. Okay. When did I compile? I did not compile. IDE automatically compiles the code for me. As soon as I save this file, okay, by doing Control S or by doing this save all, etc., or gradually also it saves automatically. Okay. I mean, after certain frequency, the IDE saves all my files. So once the file is saved or an action is performed on a file, the file is recompiled automatically by the IDE. Okay. So IDE makes my life easy. I don't have to compile it manually. Automatically compiles and generates this class file. Okay. Now this bytecode is a not readable file, non-readable. I'll open it in Notepad. So see, it is non-readable, right? I don't understand what is written here because it will be understood by Java runtime environment and it will be executed on top of JVM. Once executed, it will produce the output like this. Okay. Now let me run all of this using command prompt. Okay, so this is my hello world .java. So I'll open the command prompt here. Windows normal command prompt. Okay, I forget ID. Let's say I'm writing the code in Notepad. Okay, so how would I do that? Okay, let me do. Okay, let me copy this code and simple project. I'll create a directory from CMD. I'll say new text document from cmd.java. Okay, I'll create my own Java file, right? Without using ID, etc. Okay, I edit it using any editor. I can edit hello world from command prompt. I change the code. Normally we use Notepad++ or Notepad. Don't use WordPad. I'm not sure why Notepad is not there, but I can choose whatever Notepad, etc. Notepad or this Notepad++. Okay, whatever I want, I can choose. Okay. So here, let me clean up the code a little. I'll remove those extra lines. Okay. Not required to remove, but just I removed so that it creates some difference. Now here I can open my command prompt. Okay. So on this directory, first check whether Java version is properly installed or not. Okay. So if you see this line, Java version name, etc., we are good. Okay. We can run the program. Okay. Now I told you how to run a Java program using a Java compiler. Okay. So Java C is my Java compiler program and I'll give my class name from cmd.java. I'll press enter. Okay. So it says class hello world. Okay. Okay. I made one mistake. So let me correct that. I'll tell you what mistake did I make. This name of class and name of the Java file must be same. Okay. This from java.cmd.java and class name must be same. They can't be different. I'll run the compilation again. Okay, it compiled. Okay, once it compiled, let us look in the project explorer. See, a dot class file has been generated right now, 10:51 a.m. Right? So a dot class file is generated from dot Java file using a utility called as Java C. See this one, Java C means Java compile. So Java compile is a utility, is a program, okay, written in Java, part of JDK. Okay. Now, since JDK is accessible here, see, JDK 17, which I installed, is accessible. So I can access Java C also. Okay. So I gave a file name as a command line parameter. Okay. So command line parameter means whatever parameter we give with the command. So my Java C is the command, file name is the command line parameter, and a compiled version of the file is generated. Okay. Now, if I want to execute, okay. So see, where are we in our picture now? So in our picture, what we have done, we have written the source code. We have compiled it to the bytecode. Okay, we use the JDK's Java C, right? Compiler. This is the compiler we use, Java C, right? Compiled it. Now we are going to execute and generate the output. For execution, we'll use the Java execution, right? We'll use Java. So I'll come on to my notepad again, command prompt again. I'll say Java. Java is the command for execution. Java, normal Java. Java space name of the class. Okay, not dot class, name of the class. Okay, remove the dot class extension. That is not required. You have to only mention the class name. That is the name which is inside my class here. Okay, this one from CMD. So this name, I'll put it in here. I'll press enter and my output will be presented on the console. So when I'm executing it from command line, this is my console itself. Okay. Console means something from where we can view the output. Okay. So I can redirect this output to a TV, to a set top box, to another program. Okay. But right now I decided to choose to print it on console so I can view it with my eyes and I can get better idea on what is happening. So for that I did system.out.println. Okay. And this is the output that it presented to me. Okay. So again, going on to the image, what we did, we wrote the Java code, class code, and my output is generated. We used Java C here. And we used Java here, right? But when we did it with IDE, it was very easy. Java C was done automatically. And on clicking that green button, this one, I was able to run. So I can run the entire class. I can run method wise, right? I can run the entire class also. So it will automatically run the main method of that hello world class. Okay. And it will generate the output that I need. Okay. Let me clear the console and rerun so that we understand it reran. See, it reran, right? So IDE gives you a lot of things. So it clear console is simple button. Okay. But if you have to clear console here, you have to type clear screen, right? Or CLS or whatever similar command, right? CLS. Correct. So you don't need to remember commands, etc. if you are using IDE, and it will do a lot of things automatically for you. It will be a single window for multiple things. Okay. So I have my terminal here, right? For example, terminal C. This is my terminal. Okay. I can run dir, etc. So this is my normal terminal or command prompt. Okay. So IDE gives you a lot of features, a lot of tools are integrated. We'll see, gradually what all tools are available here. Okay. So this is how we write our simple first program. Now this class file is runnable anywhere. This class file, this one, I can execute from anywhere. This is runnable from anywhere. I can transport this class file wherever I need. No need to compile, simple run. Okay. And what do you need to run? You need Java only. Okay. You don't need Java C. Okay. Because it's a class file. Correct. So this is what portability and this is what platform independence is. One thing you have to keep in mind, we never transport class files. We never process class files. Okay. We deliver our project into a file called as jar or Java archive. Okay. Very important. Okay. So we learn how to do all those things, but just remember, we never transfer code using .java file or .class file. We create a Java archive or a jar file. Okay. While creating a jar file, a process has to be followed, which is called as build process. Okay. So build is a process which packages my entire project code into a jar file. Okay. A single file, jar file, single file. Okay. It contains all my code, config, extra files, anything that you might want to package in will contain in the jar. That single jar can act as a deliverable and it can execute over the JVM, Java virtual machine. Okay. If it is a jar, it can execute on any platform, any operating system, any hardware, given I am able to install Java in it. Okay. So any questions till now on our first program that we wrote, etc.? Any questions on
No.
no? Okay. On how to write a program or what is happening behind the scenes, etc.? Okay. So if there are no questions, let's stop for a break now. Okay. So
Ravi,
yeah.
question.
Tell me.
If Java have already capability to convert the code, build code, then why we need external like Gradle or Maven?
Yes, good question. So we'll learn Maven at that point. So Maven is a build tool, but the major reason for that is dependency management. Okay. So see, in IntelliJ. So I'm not able to. So my IntelliJ will do the building for me. Or sorry, my ID is doing a building for me. Okay. So see, I mean, there are other ways to build as well. So here, if you go on to build, you will see build project option here. Okay. If I click on this, my project will be built. Okay. I need tools like Maven because it offers a lot of functionalities. For example, the very first thing is dependency management. Now, dependency management is, let's say I want to use Selenium. Okay. So I have to use Selenium package here in my project, or Selenium jar here in my project. Okay. Like I told you, Selenium ships in jar, Java archive. They have to transport their code. So they'll transport to me in the form of jar only, right? Because this is how we do it in a jar file, Java archive. Now they give me a jar file which will be of some size, 1 MB, 2 MB, right? Whatever it could be, few 500 KB, right? Now that jar I'll have to keep on my hard drive and I have to package it if I transport my test automation framework to someone. Okay, let's say I want to package my test automation and create a jar. Okay, so Selenium is one jar, which is 1 MB. There could be hundreds of jar. There are normally lot of jars in a test automation project. Okay, one is related to Excel reading, then one is related to CSV reading, database connections, APM, REST API. N number of jars, reporting jars, extend report, allure report. Right, there will be hundreds of jar in my project. So all jars have to be present on my hard drive. Okay, and I package the project. Okay, because my automation project also needs to be packaged in a jar and transported, correct, either to a source code repository or to an artifactory.
Yeah.
Okay, or to other client for testing. So in that case, my jar size will increase drastically. Okay, so what Maven does, it downloads the jars at runtime from from whatever machine you are running. Okay, so during execution time, it will download the jars from Maven repository. Okay, from an online artifactory, which is designated for where all the jars are present. Okay, so this way I'm able to compact my deliverable. Okay, one thing. Second, if I need to upgrade version, what is the process? If I have to upgrade a version, I'll have to download the jar, put it in my project here. Okay, I'll create a lib folder normally. If I have to, add a jar here, what I'll do normally, I'll create a lib folder and I'll put all my jars into this library folder and reference it here. Okay, so my lib folder will grow. I have to delete old jar and newer version of the jar has to be added to the lib folder, again packaged, create a jar, send to the stakeholder, and they will run. Okay, but if I use Maven, I can simply communicate that, okay, go to the Maven POM file, project object model file is there in the Maven, and there they can update the version and it will automatically be updated. Okay, no need to repackage everything, no need to do other stuff, lot of other stuff that you have to do. Okay, so Maven has multiple advantages. If I want to include plugins, okay, if I want to do something at the runtime, for example, if I want to zip my reports at the runtime, I can add a Maven plugin and Maven will do it for me. Okay, so all these things are not possible. I mean, they are possible, but they will be very lengthy and cumbersome. Otherwise, you have to write a program which will zip your reports, right? And that program will run after your report is generated. So that is unnecessary overhead because plugin already exists in the market, right? If I add it as a Maven plugin, my work will be done. Why to reinvent the wheel again? Okay, so mostly Java is about reusability. Lot of libraries are already written. Okay, so I'll come on all these topics. Maven also will discuss in detail. Okay, what are the advantages and why we need such build tools over traditional methods. Okay, so what we have done is we have created a simple Java project. Okay, and we have created a class called as hello world. We have created a main method and we have executed and printed one line of code on the console. Okay, now let us look at the various Java versions which are available and which one we have to use. Okay, so okay, so this is the roadmap for the Java Standard Edition products. Okay. Now, after Java 8, okay, Oracle will designate certain releases as LTS releases or long-term support releases. Okay. So which version of Java do we have to use for our test automation project will largely depends on how frequently do we have to update it. Okay. Now, like I told you, there are two versions of Java. One is Premier support, and another one is the OpenJDK. Okay, so OpenJDK is free to use, and there are a lot of companies which create OpenJDK. I mean, it's all Java only. They copy the code from Oracle's OpenJDK only. Okay, but they maintain their own flavors of JDK, which can be used as well. So as you can see, Java 8 will no longer be supported. Uh, the premier support from Oracle terminated in March 2022. Okay, now there is an extended support until December 2030 because a lot of big projects are already on Java 8, and migrating or upgrading to higher version is not easy. Okay, another LTS version is Java 11. Okay, which is support till January 32, which is the extended support. Okay, ideally it also expired. The premier support expired in September 2023 already. Now the recent LTS version is Java 17. Okay, and the latest LTS version that is going to go live now is Java 25. Okay, it will be go live in 2025 of September. Current version is Java 21. Okay, which is an LTS version. Okay, so ideally we have to choose Java version on two parameters. First is how frequently do we have to upgrade, or what is the latest LTS version. If I go with the latest LTS version, I know that unless until 2031 or 2028 at least, I won't be have a need to upgrade to another version. Okay, so maybe in 2028 sometime I can upgrade to Java 25 or other latest versions. Okay, that depends on the scenario at that time. Okay, so first parameter is how longer the Java version will be supported. Okay, second parameter that we have to consider is the software that I am going to build is primarily based on which libraries. The automation framework that I'm going to build is primarily based on Selenium. Okay, there are other libraries also, but primarily we are creating an automation tool for UI, so we have to focus on Selenium, Rest Assured, and APM libraries. Okay, which version do they support? So I'll go on to the Selenium official website, selenium.dev. Okay, and here I'll get information about which version does latest Selenium supports. Okay, so see, there are various distributions of Selenium. For example, this is about the stable version of Java, okay, of Selenium, which was released in November 1, 2020. Okay, I think it started downloading. Okay, no problem. Okay, so here I will get an idea on yeah. So see, here I get an idea on Selenium that which version does it supports on Java JDK. Okay, so it says Java JDK version 11 or greater. For example, this. Okay, so if I want to work with Selenium, this is the recommended version from their side for Selenium's version 4.15, which is the current version. Okay, so what I did, I'll show you again how I reached here. I went to the Selenium official website, selenium.dev, under download section. Okay, this download section. Here I go on to the change logs. Okay, so change logs means nothing but a GitHub repository. So all the code that Selenium developer develop, they push their code into GitHub. Okay, now this is version 4.15, which is the latest version. Okay, now here in the change log also you can read if they suggest to add any specific version of Java. Okay, normally if they suggest here, they'll also update the readme file. Okay, so go to the readme file. Okay, readme.md. Okay, readme.md means the documentation file, the readme file, which we have to read before using any software. So before using Selenium software, I'll use readme file. Okay, in the readme file, it is telling me that it needs Java JDK version 11 or greater. Okay, so this is the suggested version. So I click here, and this is the open JDK site to which it is taking me. Okay, so here, see, they have not mentioned that don't use anything like 21 or 17. Okay, but what the minimum they have specified, because or greater means everything is covered, right? Or greater means all the versions of Java are covered. Okay, but one thing you have to keep in mind always is if you use the latest version of any software, there are high chances that you will encounter some bugs or some issues, okay, which the community has not encountered yet, maybe, or the fixes for those bugs are in progress. Okay, because whenever a new software, so these are open source software, right? These are not enterprise, professional, commercially licensed software which are thoroughly tested before releasing it to the public. Okay, so this is an open source work, they rely a lot on community. Okay, they have given these issues section here. If you find an issue, you can report. Okay, so see, a lot of issues, 183 issues are open at this point of time. 9,500 issues are closed approximately. Okay, so all these issues are open, that means these issues are there in the current product. Okay, for example, yeah, see this in Java. So Maven metadata file is not up to date in Maven staging repo, right? So see, there are certain issues for .NET, for Java, right? With the labels, we can identify what are the already open issues or what bugs and features which are people are requesting. For example, make Selenium manager be offline. Okay, someone wants this manager to be offline. Okay, so they are the feature request that they are asking. Make Selenium manager classes thin wrapper, release architecture specific packages, right? So if you click here, you will get more idea on what these people are asking in terms of Selenium software. Okay, they are requesting. There are bugs also. Okay, once developers work on the bug and they push the code in the subsequent Selenium release, they mark the bug as closed. Okay, Chrome driver cannot connect if this is said, right? So all these things are already resolved by Selenium HQ community. Okay, so see, Selenium HQ is a umbrella project for range of tools and libraries. So these are the people, who are contributing. So you can see this list here. Okay, all these people are contributors in Selenium code, which we use as a reusable code. These are some of the sponsors that you can see. Okay, maybe they contribute with money or something, so they are the sponsors of the Selenium project. Okay, at this point of time, some major companies also are sponsoring Selenium. Okay, so this is how we should choose the version. Okay, so maybe we can choose 21 or we can choose 17 or 11 because they are long-term support versions and Selenium supports 11 plus, so we can't go to 8. Okay, that is out of the question now with latest version of Selenium. Okay, so we cannot go on to 8 now. Even it has extended support and all this, but my software is not supporting, so I won't go beyond that, and I will choose either 11 or higher version. Okay, now if you want to download the Java standard edition, so see Java. Okay, it says me visit Oracle India. I'll say okay, no problem. Okay, so Java is the latest version of Java. Oracle strongly recommend that all Java standard edition user upgrade to this release. Okay, so I'll click here, Java platform. So JDK 21 is the latest long-term support release. Okay, so this is a good release that I can use. So I'll use this one only. We'll use this one only. Okay, because this is the latest. Always have a habit of using the latest software because it is bug-free and it is potentially stable. But if you encounter issues, it is good, right? That we understand the issues, we try to find it out and we resolve it. Okay, but mostly we don't get basic issues. Okay, because community is very active in testing, so they test and they resolve all the bugs. So JDK 21 are free to use in production and free to redistribute at no cost under the Oracle no fee terms and condition. So this is the Oracle license or and NFTC, no fee terms condition. Okay, under this no fee, you will receive free updates until 2026. Okay, once so the year after the release of next LTS. Okay, so the next LTS is going to release in September 2025. After that, they will fall under OTN license, and production use will require a fee. Okay, that means they are offering JDK 21 for a limited number of years. Okay, they are not offering it unlimited free. After that, we have to upgrade to 25 or whatever. So this is the best approach. Okay, choose the free version, open version, which is right now yeah, usable. Okay, and then keep on upgrading the software. Okay, because any software, any test automation project is also software. Okay, they also need upgradation, they also need evergreening. Okay, there is a new concept of evergreening where all the jar versions, all the dependencies are upgraded to latest versions. Okay, so we'll use this version. Okay, and in later years, maybe 2025 or 2026, as they say, we'll have to upgrade to JDK, whatever is latest at that point of time. Okay, now I told you the software is different for different OS. So for Linux, this is the place from where I have to download the software. For Mac and for Windows, we are using Windows, so I'll download JDK 21 from here. And in the chat room, I'm sharing the download link with you guys also, so you can download this latest. So I have started to download the latest. Let's wait for a minute to get it done. Okay, so it's done now. So I'll move it to the tools directory.
Hello.
Yeah, so I'll move it to the, yeah, tell me.
Yeah, Ravi, actually, instead of that Archive, I have downloaded that 64 installer. Is there any issue?
Yeah, no problem. You
Okay.
can. Yeah. I mean, again, same thing. No need to download zip every time. You can download the installer and install it as well. But my preferred way is this because it's portable and it's much easier and cleaner, and it gives me more control on how and where I want to keep zip file, etc. But yeah, that is also fine. Okay, so I have downloaded it JDK 71. I'm unzipping it. Okay. Okay. Now my system has two Java. Okay, two JDKs. One is JDK 17. Another one is JDK 21. Okay, as you can see here. Okay, so this is my JDK 21. I'll keep it in this folder itself, and I'll delete all this other junk. Okay, so in my tools folder, you can create any folder in your machine. This is my latest JDK 2101. Okay. Now, if I go on to command prompt, I can check the Java version. Okay, so it is still Java 17. Okay, it's not Java 21 yet. Okay, but if I go on to the bin directory and run the same command again, it is Java 21. Okay, so what is happening here? Can anyone of you tell me what in your opinion is happening here? I have two Javas. Sometimes Java version is giving me 17, sometimes it is giving me 21. What is the difference here? Why it is
Path
happening?
is pointing to the previous version that you have installed. I think the path needs to be set.
Correct. Yeah, right. Okay. Now, here is a concept that I want to tell you guys, which is related to the path variable. Okay. So what happens is in Java. Okay, 1 minute. Okay. So there are environment variables in any operating system, be it Windows, be it Linux, be it Mac. Okay. In every operating system, there are some environment variables. Okay. Now you will see there are two categories. One is user related, that is for my account. Another is system related, which is related to system environment variables. Okay. Now here, when I install a Java, okay, I can have multiple JDKs, right? I can download a lot of JDKs 11, 17. I can unzip all of them. Okay. But how would my computer know that which is the generic version that I want to access from everywhere? Okay, from everywhere in my machine, which version do I have to access of Java? How would my computer know? So my computer would know that with the help of path variables. Okay, so let me check this path variable. Okay, so it's not here. So it will be in the system. Yeah, this one, sorry, it's here. Okay, so right now my computer is using a JDK which is mentioned in the path here. Okay, so whenever I say Java, it searches for all these directories. Okay, whenever I am running a command, let me open a command prompt again. Okay, whenever I am running a command called as Java, okay, and space, I can give any parameters, right? So command and command line parameters. So I can here give any command line parameters. Like for execution, I gave the class name. Okay, for identifying the version, I can give the command line parameters -version. Okay, so it will give me the version. So whenever I say Java, it searches for Java program in all these directories. Okay, each one of these directories, it will search for Java. Okay, and it will find this Java program in the bin directory here. Okay, where it will find the Java program in the bin directory. I've opened the bin directory and I will show you that it will find the Java here, this one. Okay, Java C, this one, Java, this one. There can be Java doc, Java P, right? See, a lot of tools are there. Okay, Java W. Okay, so this Java will be figured out by my operating system when I'm using the command prompt and saying Java, and command line parameter I can give anything, right? Okay, so what happened if I remove this? I delete. Okay, 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 and you have to restart all the command prompts. Okay, restarting the command prompt is important if you want the Java version to take effect. Okay, so if I delete, will it find Java anywhere? No. Why? Because I have deleted it from environment path variable. It's an environment variable. The name of the variable is path, and in the value I have to mention the directory where it can find Java. Okay, now what is happening in the background? Operating system is trying to find out in the environment variables, in the path, it is trying to figure out in which of these directories do I have Java program. It is in none of the directories. It can't be in Python, it can't be in Windows, it can't be in Allure, Maven, Gradle. Okay, it can't be in any of these things. Okay, then it goes to the system variables. After user variables, it refers to the system variable. Here also, it will check, it won't find Java in any of these directories. So what output will it present to me? It will say me Java is not recognizable as an internal or external command. Okay. However, if I go on to this bin path, here I have Java, right? In this nav tools JDK 2101 bin, I have Java right here, this one. Okay, so if I open my command prompt here in this directory, in the bin directory, and I say Java version, I will get the output because it has found the Java program readily available in this directory. So the use of path variable is if you want to execute Java from any directory. Okay, for example, I come back and I want to execute Java from here also, then I have to enter the entry of Java executable folder location into the path variable. Okay, clear? Why do we need path variable? Any questions on why do we need? Because we want to execute Java from anywhere on our machine. We do not want to bind ourselves to this bin directory. I can't do entire programming into this bin directory and keep on coming in here every time to run my Java program. Okay, that is impractical. That is not possible. Right? So I had to have an option. Every operating system gives me this option of setting up the path variable. And I have set the path variable to the directory where my bin folder, Java executable program is. It is in the bin folder. Okay. Now, often people confuse this with the Java home. This is not the Java home folder. Okay. Java home folder is this folder where we have all these bin, lib, conf. So this JDK -2101 folder is my Java home. Okay. Normally, as a practice, what we do in our user variables, because system variables they won't be accessible in uh, laptop which are provided by company. Okay, IT people log this, so you can do it in your own user variables also. They will be enabled. So this will be the structure there. These variables won't be editable. Okay, you will be able to edit only your user profile variables. So here I can say Java home. Okay, normally, I can set Java home like this. Okay, but even after setting Java home, I won't be able to access Java from anywhere. Okay, why? Because Java home does not provides me the location of Java executable, Java tool. So Java executable is not here. It is in the bin folder. Okay. So Java home variable one can set like this, because bin is not the Java home. This is not Java home. This is the Java bin folder. This is not Java home. Okay. In the path, you can edit. You can say new, paste. Okay. Okay. Restart command prompt. And you can say Java version. So from anywhere now, from any directory, you are able to access the correct Java version or correct Java. Okay. So this is the concept behind environment variable. Now, how to set this up in the IDE? So in the IDE, I think it's more or less similar for Eclipse and all other IDEs. First, we have to go to settings, search for a setting called as Java. Click on the Java compiler option here. Okay. And yeah, no need to check anything here. Okay, just uncheck this one. Okay, and click apply. Then go on to the project structure. Okay, here you will find an add SDK button. Okay, so this SDK is already there, but you can click this add SDK button, and you can download the JDK directly from here also. If you already have downloaded, like we have already downloaded, and unzip it. So I'll go here and I will go to where I have kept, this one, November tools and Java home. I'll give the home path. So this is my home path. Okay, home path is somewhere something which contains bin, conf, lib, right? This is home path. So I'll give Java home. Okay, in the SDK, and I can choose the version if it is mentioned here. Okay, right now 21 is in preview, etc, etc. Okay, so I can choose preview record pattern second preview. Okay, so let me choose this one. Okay, or I can keep it to SDK default also. Okay, so this SDK will automatically tell the language level to my IDE. Okay, compiler output, you can change the name of the directory where you want to generate your class files also. Okay, it's optional, but you can do it here from here. Okay, once this is done, you can click on apply. Just go to project structure again to recheck your changes have taken effect. Okay, run a sample program to see. See here, it is indexing Java 21. First time it will take a little bit of time, couple of minutes it will take, okay, for indexing, but that is only first time. Okay, because I've just installed it, and indexing etc. has to be done. Once ID indexes, it won't take this long going forward. So you can see here, java.exe has been picked up from JDK21 folder. And my program output is now working with Java 21. This proves it. Okay. So this is how we have to choose Java, install Java, configure Java to be usable everywhere in my machine. Okay. And configure IDE to have Java. Okay. So I hope everyone, each one of us now will be able to uh, configure our machines up to this level in terms of Java, in terms of IDE. Any questions, anyone, any doubts? They want to share their screen, they want to clarify the doubt related to this installation, etc. Any questions, anyone?
I will need this recording
Yeah,
sooner.
that will be available. Yeah.
Yeah. And my IntelliJ, the UI looks different from what you're presenting.
So the problem is, sorry, not the problem, sorry. The configuration is related to the appearance. I have chosen a dark theme. You have chosen maybe a whiter or, lighter theme.
No, not lighter. It's dark theme only. But it's okay. I can manage with this. I'll check.
Okay. So I think in the appearance and behavior, if you see, this is the theme, right? So
No,
maybe
not
you are
about the
using.
theme, Ravi. It's
Okay.
it looks more.
Okay. So you can check the
I'm not
version
able to
then.
present.
Yeah. So this is
Okay,
the
okay.
version that I'm using. So you can check the version, go to help about and check the version. Otherwise, you can remove that old one and install this latest one by simply, unzipping it, or keep the old one as well. Download this zip version and unzip it. So it will be. So yesterday, I
Yeah,
think someone of us,
yeah, it was me.
that's
But
really,
yeah,
that
I
is
have
sorted.
downloaded the community edition only morning while we were
Sure, sure. Because the first
sharing.
screenshot that you shared was a separate version, and the second one was separate version. So I just wanted to check on that. But yeah, so I think the best is that you download the zip version and keep other versions as it is,
Yeah,
unzip
it
it and
worked with
start
it.
using it.
It
Yeah,
worked
that
with
is
it. It
best
was it.
option. Yeah, yeah, sure.
And I had one doubt. What if we set the path variable in the
Right.
system variables?
Hmm.
No, we usually set the path variable in user variables, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I have not set
What
in
if?
system. No.
No, what if
Uh,
we? Why should we do it in the user variables
okay.
itself?
Because system variable will impact all the users that are so normally, if you are configuring it on a server, there will be many users who can log in onto a specific server, right? So my username for this computer is 91721, right? So there could be more users which might use this computer.
Ah,
So
that's
personal
fine.
laptop, etc., people don't use more than one person, but servers are used by multiple teams.
Okay.
The
Okay,
first
understood.
reason, yeah, that has to be user wise, because someone might want to use Java 11, they don't want to use 21, right? So this path I'll keep it to myself.
Okay.
Second reason, this setting system variable will be 99% blocked in all the organization computers.
Mm-hmm.
IT team won't enable this for you. I mean, you can contact them, they will add it for you, but you can't do it on your own. So we don't
Oh,
need it in system variables as such, because the first priority that Windows will give is to the user variables.
okay, got it. Yes.
If not found, it will
Fine.
go on to the system to check. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So see, even
Thank
here
you.
the OS variable is incorrect. It's saying Windows NT, but I think I am using Windows 11. So I think these are some old data which even Windows guys have not updated.
I have not set Maven for now, as what you told in the initial stages.
No issues. Yeah, we'll cover Maven as well. So at that time, I'll show the setup like I shown today for Java. I'll explain you certain things, and then you can do that. No issues for now.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions in reaching till here? Because I'll give you assignments today, which will need you to, you know, uh, set up IDE and do your assignments in the IDE. Write simple program in the IDE. Okay. This will I will give you today. So it's important that, and we have to complete it before next week, next Saturday class. So it's important that this much is all clear to you guys and you are able to do it. Okay. So maybe in after, let's say in 10 minutes, we'll have a break. In 10 or 15 minutes, we'll have one break again for 10 minutes. So during that also you can set up, or you have any questions, you can ask and we can clarify that. Okay. So let's move ahead.
Ravi, just one suggestion for Maven and other things, right? If possible, if you can share the correct URL so that we can install the appropriate version, and we may not be wasting time if there is any difference.
Correct. Agreed. Yeah. Let me share that right away. So this is my preferred version. So I'll put it in the chat. Okay. So simply you can download and unzip it. I'll give you for Git as well. Okay, no problem. We can download this one. So this is normally for 64-bit Windows. Okay. So anyone who needs help in identifying 64, 34-bit, whether your Windows is a 64-bit or a 34-bit, anyone needs help in identifying that. Okay, so I'm sharing the link for 64 only because I doubt anyone will have 32-bit. Okay, I mean 32 will work in both, but I think everyone's laptop would be 64-bit. Oh, let me share the 32 one also, just in case. But prefer the 64-bit one, okay, because it will be a little faster. Not much of a difference, but yeah, a little faster. Okay, so these are the versions, okay, that we have to, preferable versions that we have to install for Git and Maven. I think for now it will suffice. Okay. One more thing. Has everyone created their account on GitHub? Personal account, not company account, by signing up with your own personal email ID?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'll tell you the advantages. So see, whenever you do something, whenever you spend your time in anything, the output has to be tangible. Okay. Measurable and meaningful. Okay. What I mean by measurable and tangible is that you should take away something which you can use as an artifact or use as a entity about the evidence of that thing. For example, you are learning Selenium, right? You're learning Java, you're learning everything. So create an GitHub account, okay, and push all your code into GitHub. Okay, so that you can add your GitHub URL in your resume also. Okay, so a lot of people who are who worked on manual testing only and they want to migrate onto automation. Okay, now if you say to the interviewer that I know automation, I can automate, but you don't have any, so they'll ask you, do you have any project experience? So the obvious answer is no, because you are not going from automation project, you're going from a manual testing project and a manual testing work, right? So there are very less chances that the interview will shortlist you, because see, they want people who need less training, right? They want people who are ready to perform, ready to deliver. They do not want to spend hours and hours in first language training, then product training, then how they work training and all those things, right? So it is preferable that they prefer someone who knows and who has worked in automation, right? This is very obvious choice. But if you prepare an artifact, if you prepare a repository in Git, okay, so what you can claim is that, I underwent training and I did practical things, I practiced, I did all the assignments, etc. And this is the Git URL where I have written my own source code, and which can be referred by interviewer as well. Let's say you want to cross check your knowledge, right? So he's aware about what you have done. So if he asks the question from that Git repository, you'll be easily able to answer it because you have done it. Okay, so whatever practice you do, whatever programs you write them in a neat way, write them in a way such that you can upload it onto Git repository. Let me sign in and show you my Git repository. Okay, so see, there are a lot of assign things there which I have done. For example, this is the one I done for one of, so I mean, as you progress more with your career, in an interview you will be asked to create automation frameworks and upload it into Git. Okay, so few months back I gave this interview in one of the companies, and they asked me to create this auto tweet of automation framework which automatically tweets something. Okay, right now it is called as x.com, but earlier it was Twitter. So I created this framework, gave them all these reports, etc. They gave me list of scenarios on features to automate, so I automated, and all these types of code, etc. I checked it into Give and I Git, and I gave it to them. Okay, so this is an artifact that I have now. Okay, there are other repositories from my side. Okay, so these are the repositories. Maybe you can visit my GitHub profile. Okay, you can search it, anyone's profile you can visit, and maybe you can view. Okay, so this is my demo test automation framework. Okay, so okay, nothing checked in here, it seems. One sec. Okay, so this is for the training. Okay, MDT training. So whatever sample code I did, I uploaded in the Git. Okay, so see, these are the some sample code that I get. I uploaded it to Git. Okay, so if your interviewer opens your Git profile, so he knows that you have done some practical programming, you have done some coding, right? And if he decides to ask you question from the programs that you have written, it will be easier for you to crack, right? Rather than he choosing some random topic to interview you. Okay, so if you have, so if you're learning this course, as an outcome you need some tangible asset or some tangible artifact, which can be your Git artifactory. Okay, which you can claim as your proof of learning, proof of knowledge, proof of programming. Okay, once I teach you reporting, maybe you can attach the report screenshots as well. Run everything, attach the report screenshots. Okay, you can choose to attach the output of ID, you can choose to attach the output of the command prompt, right? So the more the artifacts you insert, the more the takeaway is from your side, right? So this is what your takeaway would be from the training. Otherwise, see, you will come to sessions, you will practice here and there, create multiple projects, do the stuff, and 6 months, 1 year down the line, everything will be scattered here and there, right? And there will be no takeaway, no artifact that you have taken away from the training, from the time that you are sacrificing, your personal weekend time that you're sacrificing, right? So mandatorily create the GitHub account. Do check in every week. Okay, depending on your convenience, write the programs, give only 30 minutes. If you can give up to 1 hour, great, but 30 minutes is the minimum that I expect. Okay, every day, 6 days a week, give 30 minutes. Okay, one day you can take a break, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Monday, any day you want. Okay, and make this artifact for yourself so that it is presentable to anyone to whom you claim that I know these things, and this is the artifact, this is the tangible thing, this is the measurable thing that you can measure me on. Okay, also you can go through various things on Git. Okay, for example, see, I'm on GitHub, right? And you search for Java basic programs. Okay, whatever you search for, and here you say Java. Okay, so see, here you see learning zone Java basics. So these are Java 8 basics, right? Updated recently, and 1.4 k stars here, right, in the repository. Right, stars means many people have liked it, they have saved it for their future reference. 1.4k is a big number for GitHub, right? Very big number. Okay, even 10 is big, I think. Okay, so 1.4 is too big. So see, he has given all the programs here, right? This person, right? So see, very good repository this is, right? So this repository can be used for learning also, because you have ready-made code. Now you know ID, right? You can create program in an ID. You can open the program written by this person. For example, you want to learn about bubble sort, right? So this is a program on bubble sort, right? As we progress into Java learning, you will be able to read this entire code. You will be able to understand this entire code. At this point of time, it might be alien to few people, but don't worry. Okay, with more learning in Java, we'll be able to uh, understand everything what they are writing. Okay, so you can practice these things on your own. You can write the code, you can refer this. Okay, I'm not asking you to copy paste, you can refer this. Okay, the programmer has given this to us for free. Okay, because he has uh, created this in a public repository, so he wants people to use this for free. They he doesn't want to charge for to us, okay, for these things. So considering this free resource, what we can do is we can use this free resource and we can learn. Okay, the name itself he's saying is learning zone. Okay, it's a bit old, 4 years old, but see the bubble sort logic etc won't change, right? No matter how many years pass by, right? You can improvise on the code based on the newer learnings, but this is something you can run and you can get the idea about the logic. Okay, so yeah, let's run this program. Copy the class. Okay, so no need to worry what they have written. Okay, I'll cover everything in detail. No need to worry. Okay, I'll create a new class, Java class, name it as bubble sort. Okay, the name should be same, this and this, bubble sort. Okay, I have created, I'll run. Okay, do we have main method? Yeah, main is there. Run the main method. So see, based on this input array, he has done the bubble sort and this is the output that has been presented. Okay, so you run the program, you try to read what the programmer has written with each line. So once we progress in the training, once we're done with Java, you will be able to understand each line of this code, what the person is doing. Okay, right now few things could be alien, like for example this you might not understand. Okay, some of you might. Okay, I'm just generalizing things. Okay, I'm not specifically pointing at anyone that you don't know or you don't understand. I'm just generalizing that at this point of time maybe few things are alien. For example, what is this int bracket and array and all those things. So once we're done with Java learning, you will be able to understand most of these things. Okay, so this is the way we have to learn in a modern way. Okay, in a practical way. Okay, if you want to okay, I'll share that at the end maybe. Okay, I'll share some good books with you. Okay, so one such book is which will help you in uh, yeah, not PDF. Yeah, so this is the good book, Head First Java. Okay, so in a very nice uh, graphical way, this will explain you about the important concepts that we need to learn about Java. Okay, so this is more or less like story or something, right? So you will enjoy learning it. It has a lot of graphics, etc. Okay, so this book is good. Okay, so see there are graphics, etc. So it's easy to learn and it's a fun book. I mean, it's not that boring book which we have to go through. Okay, so Head First Java from Kathy Sierra. You can note this down. Okay, at the end of the session, I'll give you some more about it. Okay. Okay, so GitHub is mandatory. Okay, so before next week, whatever assignments I give you, you do it and upload. No, not upload. Keep it ready to be uploaded to Git. Okay, so I'll tell you how to use Git and how to upload. Okay. Okay, so this is something what we already did. Write a source code in an editor as a Java file, compile in a .class file and execute. Okay, so at the execution time also we can provide the input, right? Any variables, etc. We can provide at the execution time also. We'll learn that, don't worry. Okay, now let's come on to the data types in Java. Okay, so there are two types of data types, primitive or the basic data types. Okay, now what are data types? We are surrounded with a lot of data, right? Okay, so every program will need data. Okay, now I'll give you a problem. Okay, problem, or I'll give you a program. Create a program to add two numbers. Okay, very easy, right? What you have to do? We have to create a program to add two numbers. Okay, so how would I do it? First, take one number, add it to other number, print result. Okay, so this is very easy, right? If you have to add two numbers, okay, it's very easy. Take one number, add it to other number, and print result. Okay, so what I have to print? So for printing, what we did, we use system.out.println. Okay, this is to print on the console. Print result on console. Okay, so numbers or data, whatever you want to use in a program, we use it in a variable. Okay, so what is a variable? Variable is something that placeholder that consists or holds or contains data. Okay, now data can be numeric data, data can be text data, right? Or alphanumeric data, or special characters, right? Whatever you can see on the keyboard can be data. Whatever keys you can see, they can be part of data, right? So variable is a placeholder that contains or holds the data. Okay. For example, I'm working on an addition program, so I know that I need to deal with numbers. Okay. For now, I'm not taking decimal numbers. Let's take an example of normal numbers, natural and whole numbers. Okay. So I'll create two integers. So int is a data type. Okay. For a variable first number, and I want this variable to hold the data 10. Int second number 20. Okay, so I created these two variables where I'm going to hold my data. Okay, now since we are initially writing the programs, I'm writing this data in the source code itself. Source code means .java file, correct? But later we will understand how to dynamically pass this data from Excel spreadsheet, property file, etc., etc. Okay, so these are my two numbers, and I want to produce an output. I'll call it as result. Okay, I don't know the result yet. Okay, but I have initialized a variable called as result, and I can say result is equal to first number plus second number. Okay, and I have to print this result. Okay, if I run this program, I'll get the addition of two numbers as 30. Okay, so what I did, I used data types as an integer to hold two numbers into two variables. I instantiated the result variable with the integer data type again, because again, we are playing with numbers, right? And the result was computed as first number plus second number. So this is my program logic. Okay. This is data initialization and assignment. Okay, so initialize and assign the variable. This is result variable declaration. So here I am just declaring the variable, right? I am not initializing it with a value, or I am not assigning it any value. Okay, this is the program logic. So what program logic is doing? Assigning the sum of two variables to the result variable, right? So this is the, now why these are variables? Because their value might change. Okay, so here I can do 20 plus 20. So the first number's value has changed.
So now the answer is 40. Okay. Even after I do my first computation, let's say my program further says that print result on console 4, subtract the numbers and print result on console. Okay. Let's say this is my logic now. So same variables I can use. First number is equal to let's say 30. Second number I want to keep as it is. Result, again I'm overriding, right? Because it's a variable, I can change it, right? First number minus second number, and again I can print the result for the second time, and it will give me whatever 30 minus 20, 10. Okay, see 30 minus second number, the value is as it is 20. So the computation of my step 4 and step 5 is this. So these are variables because I am able to override the values depending on the logic that I want to do, depending on my requirement. I can override their values and compute again and derive the result that I need. Okay. So similarly, integer is a data type. Okay. If the variable is instantiated, the integer, if the variable is instantiated with the integer data type, it can hold numbers. Okay. If I say integer test is equal to ABCD. Okay. So here I have a red thing here. Okay. Red means nothing but a compilation error. Okay. So here it will say give me certain options to resolve. Okay. In the problems view, I can view what the red problem is, cannot resolve symbol ABCD. Okay. Normally in Java, strings we pass in double quotes or single quotes also, but double quotes is preferably used. Okay. String means collection of alphanumeric, alphanumeric and letters, etc. Okay. For numbers, for numeric, we don't need numbers and decimals, we don't need double quotes, but for string, text, data, words, we need double quotes. Okay. Even if I insert the double quotes, you will see that it is saying incompatible type, found string, but required integer. Okay. So for test, it is saying found string. So it has found a string here. It is expecting an integer because I am saying that test is a variable with the data type integer. Okay. So I can't assign ABCD to a integer data type variable. I can assign it to a string type variable. Okay. So see, now things are good, right? My problems are gone. And if I run the program, it will run no issues. I'm not using that test variable, but that's okay. I'm just initializing it and assigning it some value. Okay. I can choose to print it maybe. So if I run now, you'll see that 40, 10 and test will be printed. Oh, sorry, this ABCD string will be printed, which is assigned to test variable. Okay. So depending on the data that we are using, we have to choose the appropriate data type. Okay. Okay. Now any guesses? So for integers means numbers, I shown you int. Okay. Anyone knows about byte, short, long? So integer we covered, right?
Yeah,
In the
byte
primitive.
means it takes 8-bit or something like that.
Yes, correct. So yes, thank you. Thank you for going on mute. Okay. So yeah, so it depends on the size of the number of the size that a data type can hold. Okay. So every data type can hold specific bits and bytes in it. Okay. So we know that there are 8 bits in 1 byte of data, right? In computers, we know bits and bytes, megabytes, KBs, etc., right? Kilobytes, bytes, we are aware about it, right? So depending on the size of how long your integer value is, we can choose to make it either an integer or a long. Okay. So let me show you. Okay. So byte is normally a 1 byte. Okay. And the values are going to be between this minus 128 to 127. Okay. The size is 1 byte of a byte data type. Short data type is 2 bytes. This is the value that a short can hold on to. Integer is 4 bytes. This is the range that whole numbers can be stored in an integer. And for long, this is the range. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 8. Okay, so okay, so this is how much each of these data types can hold. Okay, so we have 4 data types. Depending on the requirement, we can choose to use any of the data type. Normally in programming, we use int and long only. Okay, we never use byte and short. Okay, because they are too short. Up to 32,000 only they can store. Right, only 5 digits. That is also up to 32,000. Okay, so normally we use, even for smaller values, we use integer and long. Okay. Okay, now move on to, okay, floating points means decimals. Okay, float and double. So I'll refactor and if I say float 3.3 to 4.4,
We need to give yeah for the last, right?
yeah, correct. Yeah, I was coming on to that. Yeah. Okay, so this is the I first I'll have to explain what is the default that the compiler considers. Then I'll come on to that. Okay, so this is the program that I have created for decimals. Okay, so here I can see there is some red line, but I'll talk about that. So these are two variables and they have some float values on it. Okay, if I run, it won't run because of obvious issues. Okay, incompatible types. Okay, now why we have this problem? Okay, so if you run on the error, it says possibly loosey conversion from double to float. Okay, what is double? See, double is another data type here, which is a floating point data type. Let me see the size of float in Java. So float is 4 bytes and double is 8 bytes, like integer and long, like integer and long for whole numbers, float and double for decimal numbers, right? They can hold 4 byte and 8 bytes. Okay. But by default, okay, any decimal value will be considered as double by my Java compiler. So see, I got the compile time error itself, right? Before running only, I was getting the red line. Okay. So the concept is by default, Java treats any decimal as double. Okay. If you want to explicitly tell Java that it is a float, you have to mention an F. Okay. At the end of the decimal value. This won't change the value. The value will remain 4.4. Okay. Let me run it. The answer will be 7.7 only. See, but this F will make sure that we are explicitly telling Java that I want to use float data type because I want to spend less memory. Okay. Similar thing if I do with double. So I am not getting okay. Any guesses what will be the answer here for the second program? Any guesses, anyone?
It will throw an error because it is not.
Okay, okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, now no errors.
Yeah.
what will be the output now?
12.0.
Yes, correct. 12.0, because I've instantiated the variable as a double. Okay. So even in the output, it will give me, despite of being rounded off, it will give me the single decimal. Okay. Now there are all sorts of things that you can do with these type of programs. You can choose the number of decimal places, etc. Okay. There are a lot of libraries available which we'll leverage. We'll see, how to use it. Okay. But this is how my data types will work. Okay. So this is pretty much clear, right? Now, one data type is Boolean. Boolean data type demo, main method, and it only.
Ravi, I have a question. Maybe it sounds silly, but still I want to know.
Yeah.
Could you please go back on your previous program?
This one? Yeah.
Yeah. So this float one, we give 3.3f because by default Java treats as a double. So
Correct.
we have to specify this f.
Yeah.
So when we are returning final response, so and whatever the response we are getting, that time it is not required.
So here you are
again,
saying
we do
on
not
line
need
7.
to. Yes.
Okay, because here it is not required because already 1 and 2 are floats. We already assigned them as floats here, right? By mentioning f in the end, right? So here on this line, Java already knows that 1 and 2 is float, so it can easily store the float to a float. Okay, it's not required here because one time we have already told that 1 and 2 are float, so it will automatically understand that if we add 1 and 2, the output can be stored to a float. Okay. Okay, so I'll tell you one interesting thing. If you make it double, okay, then what do you expect? Oops, wait. One sec. So if I do it, even if I do it double, see, this is what it is returning it to me. Okay, instead of 7.7, it is returning me some this value, but more or less it is the right value. Okay, now this is the implicit typecasting that Java has done. Now what is typecasting? Casting of float into double. Casting means storing the value of a float calculated into double. Okay, because see how you have to wait, let me tell you how to visualize this. So see, so this is double, okay, and this is float, 8 bytes and 4 bytes. So the size differs, right? Now what Java can guarantee is any float value can be easily stored in double, right? This is guaranteed. This can be guaranteed, right? But other way around, we cannot guarantee that. Can we? This is guaranteed that float will fill into double. Okay. But other way around, it cannot be guaranteed, right? Because double could be of a larger size than float. So there will be a data overflow. Okay. Consider buckets. Okay. So double is a 8-liter bucket and float is a 4-liter bucket, right? So I always know that if double is a new variable, if 8-liter bucket is empty, whatever is in the 4-liter bucket can be filled in the 8-liter bucket. Okay. Whatever it is, it can be 1 liter, 2 liters, 3, 4, 1 ml, 2 ml, right? Doesn't matter, right? But if double bucket is filled 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 liters, it can't be filled in 4 liter. right? It cannot be guaranteed. Maybe double bucket has 1 liter of water, maybe, right? 8 liter bucket capacity has 1 liter water, but at compile time, Java will be unable to understand that. Okay, that what is the value that is contained in the variable. Okay, so this can be done, float to double can be done, but this cannot be done. At compile time only, it is saying that, some problems, it is asking cast expression to float. It is asking for explicit typecasting. Okay, so if I do this, so this is explicit typecasting. Explicit means programmer is doing it. I am accepting the risk that if a plus b value is more than, so double can contain 8 bytes, right? If they both are 8 bytes, okay, then this a plus b, if I add, will be a very large value, right? Agreed? So I am manually saying, I'm explicitly saying that typecast it to float and then assign it to variable answer, because maybe I know that, double bucket is only 1 liter filled, so it can accommodate in 4 liters. As a programmer, I am seeing that, I know, right? If But Java cannot do it on its own. So here it can do it on its own. This is called as implicit, where Java can understand and Java is sure that, these addition of two variables can be stored to answer. But here, if it is not sure, but even a programmer wants to do it, they can do it by following this concept of explicit typecasting. Okay. So this is how it works. I can run it as well. Okay. So if a plus b is a very large value, this will say buffer overflow. This will give you a runtime problem, runtime exception. Okay. It will give you a runtime error. Okay. It won't be problematic at compile time, because at compile time, Java cannot guess that how much bytes a contains. 10.9 is how much bytes. It is not computable at runtime. Oh, sorry, compile time. Okay, compile time means when the program is getting compiled. Runtime, as soon as I hit the run button. As soon as I hit the run button, it will calculate everything and it will give you an overflow error, or it will automatically trim down the last few digits. Okay, because you have accepted the risk by mentioning this. Okay, so I can tell you one more interesting thing, because since, today, I'm not sure how many of you are interested for World Cup, but you can read this. Yeah. So if you see this, yeah, see this one. If you read this one, this was a typecasting error which cost a lot of money. Okay, I think not this one. There is one bug which was typecasting bug, which cost a lot of money to government. I read it on Wikipedia. I think this was. Okay, so I think boost. I think somewhere I read, and it's definitely there, that, one solar mission failed due to a bug in the data type. Okay, instead of float, etc., they chose int. Okay, and that it was in C, I think, in the C language. Okay, and that caused a lot of problem, and the overflow of the data buffer occurred, and the entire mission was failed due to that simple thing. Okay, so you can go on Google, you can search for these bugs. What is the cost of these bug? It's one of the most famous bug. So see, mostly in space missions, we have encountered a lot of costly bugs, right? Because space missions are very, very costly, and once launched to production, it is impossible to fix, right? Once rocket goes away, and then it's very difficult to, or impossible to fix. Okay, so just look at this list. Okay, world's history of worst software bugs, and so on and so forth. So you will be able to get an idea that what a simple bug can cause. Okay, so this is the okay, fine. So this is about data types. Okay, Boolean. I was on Boolean, so let me complete that. So Boolean is either true or false. Okay, Booleans can hold only two values. Either it can be true or it can be false. Okay, so we'll use Boolean for some conditional computing, etc. And we'll use it later in our course. Character is a data type that can accept only one character. Okay, string is a non-primitive data type that can accept multiple alphanumeric along with special characters. Okay, so string is something, a non-primitive data type. Okay, so now what are primitive and non-primitive? So primitive data types are something which are the basic data types. Okay, which are there in the Java by default. Okay, which are there in the core programming language by default. And non-primitive data types are something which we can also create of our own. Okay, so non-primitive data types are not the basic ones. Okay, the added ones, which the Java programmers in Java 2, etc. started working and started adding. Okay, so they are the non-primitive data types. Okay, so we'll go through most of these non-primitive data types, collections, etc. Okay, so string is a special type of data type which is a primitive as well and a non-primitive as well. Okay, so we'll come on to string, array whenever we learn that in depth. I'll explain you those things. Okay, so primitive data types represents these things which we already saw. Okay, so these are the ranges for your reference. Okay, float can accept this much, plus minus 10 to the power minus 38 to plus minus 10 to the power plus 38, and 0 is also a float, and it has about 6 digits of precision. Okay, after decimal, 6 digits can be guaranteed to be precise. More than 6, no guarantee. If you want more precision, go for double. Okay, so you can see the range of double, 10 to the power minus 308 to 10 to the power plus 308. Character is Unicode character, that is single character only. Any keyword on the any key on the keyboard can be stored onto string character. Okay, one, only one. It's a because it's 16-bit only, and every character in program and computers is 16-bit. Boolean is either true or false. Okay, so now we learn about the Java operators. Okay, so operators are something which we will use every now and then. Okay, mostly if you see, we all know about some of the arithmetic operators which are there in Java. Okay, right, so we all have used various arithmetic operators. Even in today's project, we used couple of them, like we used plus and minus. Okay, and there are more operators. For example, asterisk is there for multiplication. For division, we have a slash operator, which can divide. Okay, so let me give you an example of simple calculator. Okay, so in this, I have a main method. I have two numbers. Okay, I have these two numbers in the main method. Okay, and I can say this is the addition of two numbers. This is the subtraction of two numbers. this is the multiplication, the division, and this is the remainder. So there is one remainder operator as well, percentile, okay, which will give you remainder between the two numbers. And then you can do a sys out. So in sys out, you can say addition plus add. Okay, similarly, division and remainder. Okay, so if I run this, I'll get the things. Okay, if I do it 6 maybe, so I'll get some remainder as well, 4. Okay, 10 divided by 6 will give you remainder as 4. Okay, it will give quotient as close to 1. Okay, the quotient will be 1 point something, but since I've chosen integer, it will be trimmed down to an integer. Okay, multiplication, subtraction, addition. Okay, now here you see there is a plus operator. Okay, so plus operator has two actions which it can perform. Okay, so this plus operator is adding as an arithmetic operator where it is adding 2 digits, right? 10 and 6. Here it is acting as a concatenation operator. What is concatenation? Concatenation is when a string is concatenated to another string. Okay, concatenation means when a string is appended. So basically it writes addition, space, colon, then this couple of spaces, then it prints whatever is in the value add. So in add we have 16. So it's print 16. Okay, so it's add as a context. This is called as operator overloading. What is operator overloading? Plus operator is overloaded to perform 2 actions based on the scenario. Now, whenever I use plus operator, Java will guess that what I want to do, whether I want to do an arithmetic operation. If I am playing with double, integer, numbers related data types, it will do the number related tasks. Okay, and if I play with strings, etc., it will do the, if I use strings, etc., it will do the string related operation automatically. So this is known as operator overloading. Okay, so plus is the only operator in Java which is overloaded to do 2 operations. One is addition, arithmetic operation, and second is concatenation or appending strings or joining strings together. Okay, so this is a simple thing. Okay, but now see, this calculator is basically very much a static calculator. Okay, so it can only work on the input which is single input. Okay, so a single input means, let's say develop this calculator with 10 and 5, let's say. Okay, and I run it, so every time it will give me the output. That is fine, it will give me all these things, which is fine. Okay, but the output will be, but I will be unable to use this calculator for other numbers without changing the source code. Okay, this is my source code, right? This simple calculator Java. Without changing this, I won't be able to change the numbers. So this will be very bad, right? This is very bad calculator because I'm able to do operation only on single set of numbers. Okay, how to make it a little more dynamic so that from console it accepts the input. Okay, so for that we will use scanner. Okay, so in Java, always you have to refer the Java documentation. Okay, so Java doc. Okay, so we have this Java documentation which we have to refer for every thing, every library that we want to use in Java. Okay, so in this documentation you will find a lot of classes. Okay, which can be used. For example, let me find scanner. Okay, so see, you can read what it does. A simple text scanner which can pass primitive types and strings. Okay, so primitive types means data types. Okay, so all the primitive data types you can find using the scanner. Okay, so you can, if you want to read a number from console, you can use this piece of code. Okay, and it will scan a number and put it to an integer I. Okay, uh, if you want to use some delimiters, you can use it. So in this library, or sorry, in this documentation for scanner library, you will find various things that you can use for the scanner class. Okay, now I'll tell you how to use this scanner in a simple way to read a digit. Okay, so to do that, first I'll use scanner. Okay, I'll instantiate the scanner by saying scanner in is equal to new scanner system.in. Okay, so this system.in here means the input whatever my scanner will take. Okay, then I can have number one is equal to in dot next int. Okay, to read the integer, I'll use next int. Number two is equal to int dot next int. Okay, so this way I'll read two numbers from the console. I'll comment out this code because I am making this program a little dynamic. Okay, okay, before this, okay, let me first run this and then I'll tell you how to improvise this further. Okay, so now it is waiting for two numbers. I give 20 and 10. Okay, so it gives me the output depending on 20 and 10. Okay, but this is a little non-interactive because I do not understand when it is asking for first number. Okay, because as I run the program, it is simply waiting right here. See, the program is waiting for numbers. Okay, see, you can see this icon rerun. Okay, or this top icon is enabled. That means the program is running. Okay, once I enter some input, the program stops. This rerun icon disappears and the program stops. Okay, so stop button is disabled. So how to make it wait? Okay, so I'll add a friendly message here. I'll say enter first number. And I'll say enter second number. Okay. So I'll say enter first number. I'll scan the first number from a user input. I'll say enter second number. I'll scan the second number. Now let's run this. So 10 and 5. Okay. Again run this. 80 and 90. Okay. So this is how my calculator will work now. At runtime, it can accept the integers and it can process. Okay. Now there can be more enhancements that I can do to this simple calculator. Let's say someone decides to enter A here. Okay. So it will say input mismatch exception because we are reading it in the integer. In the integer. Number one, we are reading it as an integer. So A is definitely not acceptable. Okay. If someone says 2.2, okay. If someone enters blank values, maybe it's not taking blank. Okay. So there are a lot of scope of improvement that can be there in the program, but this program now is running and producing an output. Okay. Okay. Now, let's say I inject a new requirement here. I ask you to add a power function. Okay. What is power function? Power function means I want to calculate power. 2 to the power 2 is equal to 4, right? 3 to the power 2 is equal to 9. 3 into 3, right? We know about what power is in mathematics, correct? So let me show it to you. Okay, so 4 cube is 4 into 4 into 4. This is the power, right? 2 raised to 5 is 2 into 2 into 2 5 times, which is 32. 5 to the power 2 is, so this is the power, right? So there is an exponent, there is a base. Okay, so 5 to the power 2 is 25. So let's say I want to automate this, or sorry, I want to add a program which can create a power function. Okay, for any digit that I'm entering. Okay, let me write that program. Start with a scanner. Okay, now I have to calculate. So I have to have two numbers, right? Base and exponent, right? So if base is 2 and exponent is 3, so the answer will be 8. Name of the variables should be meaningful, okay? So base and exponent are the two variables that I, okay. Now, if I have to write the code, this will be very overwhelming, right? I mean, I have to search for the logic and then, because anyone can enter anything, right? Someone can enter 2, someone can enter 5. Okay. So for that, we will use the math library. Okay. So this, all the difficult tasks are already done by us, by various developers of Java and other people like Selenium, right? So they have done all the hard work and they have created Selenium tool. Now it's up to us to use it. Okay. So I'll say math dot power base and exponent. So what I'm doing, I'm using a library method, okay, from math class, which is in the java.lang package. And I'm using POW function. What the POW function does, it returns the value of the first argument raised to the power of the second argument. Okay, that means base to the exponent. Okay, there are various conditions you can read. They have covered all these conditions. Okay, let's run this. But before that, let's assign this to let's try to assign it to integer. We won't be able to, but let's see. Okay, now we can't assign it to integer because math.power returns double. See, it returns double. So I can assign it to a double instead. Okay. And I can say answer is the double. So this is an example of how to use a library. Okay. Otherwise, you know, if we had to write the entire thing again, it would be very difficult for us, right? So see, enter base. Sorry, one sec. It's going on to other line because I have used println. I have to use print here. So it stays on the same line. Println changes the line, but print doesn't. So base is 2 to the power 5, 32. Okay. Run it again. 3, 3, 27. Okay. So see, I have created a power function very easily. Okay. Now, if you want to see what developers did to create this power function, you can simply control click here. So the math class will open. See, this math.java we have not written, right? We are not creators of math.java. We are users of it. Okay. Who has created? You can read all in here. It is created by Oracle. It's an Oracle confidential thing, etc., etc. But they are giving us authority to use this class. Okay. You can read the documentation here. Documentation means what all these class can do. Okay. If you want to see power method. This is the power method that they have created, right? So what they are doing here, they are going on to this strict math class, they are going on to this compute class, and this is the way they are computing the power. See, this is the code for power method. Very big code, right? See. So how Java works. There are libraries created for everything that is already being done. For example, development of power function has already been done. The only thing is we have to use it. So I am using it like this here. Okay, I am the user. Similarly, Selenium library is there already. I have to click a link. Already the backend code to click the link is already been developed. I have to use it. Okay, I know how to use it. I should be aware that, yeah, there is a math class which exists. There is a power function which exists. If I don't know, I can Google it out, right? You will find potentially Java library for everything, almost everything. Okay. So we don't have to reinvent the hard way. We don't have to, redo these things, the computing that they've already done to calculate the power. See, this is the line of code they have written. It's too overwhelming, right? It's very difficult for anyone to understand. Or even if I code again, I'll spend a lot of time coding all this, right? Even if I know I am an experienced programmer, first I have to go through the power functionality, right? Algorithms, etc. I have to read mathematics, a lot of it, right? But some people like Oracle guys, this is developed by Oracle. If you see here, it is developed by Oracle. So these guys, Java guys, Sun, Oracle guys, they already did the hard work and they gave us the libraries. Okay. So this is how we proceed. Okay. So I think we'll stop here today. And next week, so I'll give you some assignments. Maybe by tomorrow morning, you will get your assignments. Okay. So I'll give you some simple programs based on the knowledge and learnings that we did today. So you'll be able to do them easily. Okay. I won't give you complex ones for now. I'll give you simple couple of programs, 2-3 programs maybe, so that you are aware about the configuration and you know that the system works properly. It can execute it and produce the output. Okay. Okay. So next week we'll start with control statements, if statement, switch statement, loops, etc. for while, do while, and a lot of other Java stuff that is useful to us. Okay. Any questions in today's session that we had?
Ravi, I have. So this return type will always be double. Suppose in negative scenario, suppose if I give this power or this base both one, in that I mean that this will be return type will be double, or it will throw any error if we will give some if we will check some negative cases.
Okay, I understand. So see, there are two things here. First is what power method is accepting as input. It is accepting a base and an exponent as an input, right? And output, it will throw a double data type. Here you can see that if you go to the documentation of this power function, okay, so it will tell you that it returns a double value. Okay, let me. So if you see power, see here, it says double, right? Which means it returns a double value. So this is the return type. Okay. So we'll learn more about return types gradually as we proceed. I'll tell you what these return types are. Okay. But if it's say public static double, that means it will return a double value. Okay. If you see in the documentation, it says it accepts double in an input, A, B are input, right? In the bracket, in the parenthesis, right? So these I am reading as integer, but due to implicit typecasting, they are casted as double. Int to double is allowed, right? But double to int is not allowed. Correct? That have to be done manually. Okay. But it is internal typecasted and integer is going as double, and the value which power function returns is also double. Okay. So if power function is sending me a double, I have to store it in a double data type only. Double or more. So, I can't store it in lesser.
It doesn't matter like what input we are giving, it is always treating as a double input.
Output. Yes, correct. So let's say I give negative, like you said, right? So they already must have handled the negative scenario also. So see, I give -2, so the answer is 0.25. Okay. So if you solve on copy pen, I think this is what you will get.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say if I solve this 10 and -2. So it is giving you this.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions? Anyone? Okay, so I'll give you the assignments. Okay, just practice those. Maybe go through the recording, go through operators, data types, etc. Once you have time, and we'll meet next week and proceed our learning on the Java constructs.